Dark Joseph Ravine is the founder of Kindness for Success, a Guinness World Record holder, and the author of an award-winning children's book. His mission is to promote kindness and positivity in the world. Dark Joseph Ravine, wonderful to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's my absolute pleasure. I've been looking forward to this conversation. And perhaps for those who haven't encountered your work yet, you could share a little bit about who you are and where you are, what you do.
Yeah, so currently I am living in Toronto, and I currently am an influencer. I am a TV host. I'm an award-winning children's author of a book. I also am my own marketer. I do marketing also. And I also do some other work on the side, but I do multiple
You,
things to kind of keep up with, enjoying life and having a life.
Absolutely, and having a positive impact on others. I was taking a look through your website and I see that you have a Guinness record. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about the story behind your Guinness attempt, the first one, and then actually achieving it, the second one.
Yeah, so what happened was the arcade that I usually go to, I went in the past a lot more often than I do today. What happened was they used to have paper tickets, and I was very good at winning the arcade games, and so I decided, because they were on the road to getting rid of their paper tickets, maybe I'll do some kind of Guinness World Record. And so at first I tried to achieve a record with the most tickets, but then that didn't work out, so they gave me an alternative to have a long line of tickets. And so when I tried it the first time, it was outside of the parking lot, and it didn't quite work well because the wind kept blowing everything out, so it was a failed attempt. So the second attempt was we moved into a sports arena, and we had to finish it quickly in 4 hours, and so we did. And after that, we submitted what we did, and we waited for the results, and I ended up achieving that world record.
Congratulations, what a feat.
Thank you.
There were a lot of tickets. How many tickets in total did you lay out end to end?
I would say it was about 360,000 total tickets.
Wow.
Like
Crazy.
that we had to lay out personally. We had multiple people do it, so it also costed a lot of money to do. So it also was quite stressful.
And not to mention actually playing the games. What's your favorite arcade game?
I have multiple favorite games, but usually when I go to an arcade, it kind of all depends. Usually I'm always strategic about what games I play, what I can do the best at, and what I have the best chance of winning, versus what I don't do as good at, if you know what I mean.
Okay. I noticed I took my daughter down to an arcade recently and they no longer do tickets. It's all electronic. I don't know if that's the same in where you are nowadays.
Yeah. It's a good thing they're discontinuing that, because like honestly, having all those tickets was a pain. Like it was so stressful and it was hard, you know.
Yes.
It was difficult. I had to keep holding it all the time. Now most people are having it on their card, and it's such a blessing.
Absolutely. So you're very enthusiastic about being a force for good in the world. Tell me a little bit about your philosophy of kindness for success.
So it's supposed to be an online movement as well as a business dedicated for people who want to promote kindness and spread the word about being kind to other people. And then they learn from that kindness does lead to success. And so it's a movement made to help other people learn that if they want to succeed in life, that kindness comes a long way in the long run when they're good to other people and they help other people and they think of other people and not just themselves. It also comes from my lesson of believing that life isn't about you and it's about helping as many people as you possibly can. So that's what Kindness for Success dedicates to target as well, because we always love helping as many people as we can.
And are people joining the movement were you surprised at the positive response to the movement, or did you know that people are searching for new ways to interact?
I would say it's doing pretty decently. Like right now, we've introduced new items to our store, And we also have like a media outlet side of positive stories from people who are all about helping other people and changing other people's lives from the better, that we accept as submissions, as editorial submissions. And we also grow our following on social media and things like that. And so we hope we can get more people to join this movement and learn how much being kind to other people does come a long way, and it does open the doors for you. But of course, when it comes to kindness, you do have to know your boundaries. You can't just help people who don't want the help, or try to do for people that don't ask for it. When you help somebody, you got to
Mm.
make sure you do it for people that want it and ask for it and need it desperately, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, for sure. And I suppose a big part of kindness is also being kind to yourself. What are your thoughts about that?
100%. You always have to love yourself before you love anybody else. And that's something I always encourage people to understand about themselves, that, you know, your love for yourself and your happiness are your number one top priorities before doing anything else for other people or anything else. Because if you don't love yourself, you can't love other people, and other people won't love you the same way. That's also when I always encourage people to be themselves and to be their unique, authentic self, because that way, there's something new in the world coming when you're yourself. I always try to be as
Mm.
unique as possible. As long as I don't break the law or hurt anybody, I'm all for uniqueness. So
Absolutely. I'm with you on that. Any tips for people who want to bring a little bit more kindness into their personal life? Do you have techniques or tools, meditation, or what would you recommend to someone who wants to be kinder?
my strongest recommendation for kindness for anybody is to always see if you can provide value to someone and change somebody's life for the better, because that's how your life will change for the better. Like, let's say, for example, if there's somebody that doesn't have friends, and you want to find out why they don't have friends and what's wrong in their life, and maybe kind of encourage them to learn ways of how to make friends and how to understand how friendship works, how it's about thinking of other people and not just yourself, and how to be open to possible opportunities and kind of provide value. Because in the end of the day, I do think it's important for everybody to learn that money cannot buy happiness or cannot influence people about you and things like that. I honestly think it's about the value you provide to people that makes people think differently of you.
It's very true. And if you follow the careers of some of the most successful people, what you'll often notice is that it's all about achievement, 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 impact, impact, impact. And when they hit a certain level of financial success, suddenly it becomes all about, okay, how can I serve others? They become philanthropists. They start donating money. They start helping others. And I think the lesson there is you don't have to wait until you're a billionaire. You can start to do that. That's probably the most fulfilling part of life, is just helping others. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Can businesses be kind? Because business people often think about it in one dimensional kind of way. It's all about profit and shareholders and all of that kind of thing. Can businesses
Yes,
be kind?
I'm glad you're bringing this point up, because you know what? Like, in our business personally, like I do, like our team does marketing. We always provide like free samples for clients to make sure they're happy before they do anything. And that's one thing I know about a lot of businesses who are very successful, is usually they're very big givers. If you focus too much on making money, often you'll lead to failure. Being a big giver and a helper for people and a provider is always a very good way to achieve success and to make people trust you and things like that. Because I always think that, people have to get to know you and get comfortable with you before they give you their money. This is something a lot of businesses fail to learn. They focus too much on the financial side, and they fail to realize that if I don't make people trust me, I'm never going to have success. It's not just about selling a product and hoping people will buy. You have to bring your product out to people, give free samples, let people see something for what it is, see if they enjoy it, see if it makes them happy. Because then if you get a lot of people who love something, and then you publicize the love for your product and love for your business, now that's what's going to make more people interested, because they see, oh wow, all these people love this, you must have a good business. And then that's what brings more and more and more people, you know? And there's one thing my life has always taught me about business is that without genuine interest in people's love for your business, success is useless. Nothing you do is going to make you successful, ever. You need people to genuinely like whatever it is you're selling or doing. Otherwise, you're going to go downhill.
It's true. I've always taken this philosophy in terms of marketing, of content marketing. Provide people amazing content. Yeah, free. It's there. Of course, it gets picked up by search engines and you can start to rank higher, but really give a whole lot before you expect someone to buy your product or give something back to you. What are your thoughts in terms of kindness in marketing?
I'm glad you're bringing that up. For me personally, kindness in marketing is always more like trying to find a way to grow, like posts or anything in general, in a sense that doesn't disturb other people. Like we have multiple versions of how we do our team does marketing. But if you're looking for the most powerful marketing of all, we try to find more like genuine interest marketing where we promote things in a way where we can get your post to like rank higher, like on like the suggested tab of a social media page or for you or something like that, in a way where or where real people organically watch your content and decide to follow you and things like that, because then that's more of a genuine interest audience compared to, you know, running an ad where you appear on someone's feed when they're not interested, or annoying someone with a DM, or forcing people into your content against their will, or things like that. I always think the best kindness in marketing is to try to find a way to get a genuinely interested audience. That means it's done in a way where nobody's hurt, and you know
Mm-hmm.
you're dealing with an audience of people who want to see whatever it is you're doing, and then it's leading to more and more and more people. Like I always
Yeah.
teach people, quality, not quantity.
Yeah. Creating kind of win-win experiences for people rather than just trying to force a product on someone who it may not resonate with. It's a waste of money for the advertiser. It's annoying for the end user. So it's kind of, as you said, it's
Yeah.
building that trust and providing people with genuine, authentic experiences that they probably need.
Yeah, of
Mm.
course, because at the end of the day, you have to think in terms of you can never make somebody like you or interested in you. At the end of the day, everybody has to naturally decide to be interested in you. And you know, like I say that there's multiple ways you can do marketing. You could always run ads or do anything sponsored, but the downside is people know you pay for it. Now, if you do like it more organically, you know, it's more done in a way where people don't know if you paid for it or not, and it doesn't come off as sponsored. So that's more organic content to rank higher and organically reach people, you know. So you know, that's something that's different, you know. As people always taught me in marketing, paid versus organic. Paid is short term, organic is long term.
Yeah. I'm huge on organic content and always have been. The problem, and I'd love your perspective on this. The problem is many businesses have a short-term focus. They just want to see ROI from their ads or whatever it is, whereas creating long form or valuable content, it takes ages. And once it starts to become popular, you can't link it back to that original spend. You can't link it back and say, oh, I invested $1,000 in some content production and link building back in 2022, and now it's paying dividends. So how do you convince a business owner to play the long game?
My advice to all business owners always is, you know, if you're willing to spend $1,000 on ad budget, I would probably instead maybe consider spending that money more towards like influencer marketing or people who might be more interested in giving your product a good name compared to like running ads. Because at the end of the day, when you run ads, you're only building exposure. It's kind of like building numbers, kind of like how, you know, sometimes social media people, celebrities that I'm personally aware of, they buy followers or they buy fake engagement just to simply increase numbers and things like that. A lot of the times, if you're looking to increase numbers, you know, it's not really anything that's going to benefit you long term. The only thing that's
Mm.
really, really going to benefit you is, you know, the organic side of of whatever it is you're promoting. I understand though why people buy, even though people say don't buy followers and this and that. I understand why a lot of people do, because from celebrities' perspective, they want to sustain their numbers. So like let's say they do something bad and a lot of people unfollow them. If they have 200 million fake followers that always stay followed to them and never unfollow, no matter what, they're always going to look good on social media or things like that, or even like likes as well. If they get 100 million likes, at least because they're fake people, the likes always stay compared to like an organic real person that can unfollow and unlike whatever it is you do. So in one way, I do understand why people buy social media traffic that's not real, but in some senses, I really think it really does defeat the whole purpose of having a social media account, because if you're promoting content, you want to build an organic audience of people who are interested in you, and eventually create that long-term relation with fans and audiences, and hopefully build opportunities. Numbers are not going
Mm,
to build you the opportunities, even if you run paid ads. You can run paid ads, but a lot of the times you're only increasing numbers. You want to increase that loyalty, that trust, that credibility, that organic side of it. So that's something our team really focuses on. We do deal with numbers and advertising as well as a marketing team, but we always try to encourage our clients to try to focus more on that organic side, because that's what's going to benefit long term.
mm. And do you think it really depends on the type of business, which channel you should choose? Because so many businesses, I mean, you must know many entrepreneurs and founders. They set up a website, they set up all of the social media channels. They don't even know who their target audience is yet, but they've got all of these things. Now they feel overwhelmed because they have to produce content. Would you suggest it's better to focus on one, like say, okay, our target demographic is maybe, let's say I'm an author and I've got a book coming out, and I know that my target audience is people aged 30 to 45. Instead of spreading myself too thin, should I just say I'm going to target Instagram and this age group, do some ads? How would I build that community? Just, I know it's a pretty random question, but what would you advise someone who's starting out? Pick one channel or pick many?
Yeah, no, of course. If you're simply just looking to get the word out about your existence or about the things you're doing or your book, yes, you can run ads and target your audience and things like that. But in some situations, it doesn't really, you're getting an audience that knows you paid to go viral and knows that you went viral as a means of payment. So I don't think that they would be as interested in your content compared to like an organic, where somebody looked you up and found you from, let's say, a hashtag or from Explore or from their home feed. If they found you from that, then they might be more interested in getting to know more about you and understanding you. It also helps
Mm,
too to try to, find ways to collab with other people and things like that, getting featured on other people's pages and stuff like that. Because that also helps
mm,
reach an audience too, you know? Because in the end of the day, it's only the organic side of marketing that that helps
yeah.
get you further in the game, if you know what I mean.
Hmm. It's like having a real community is what you want. Like trying to force your way into people's lives with ads. Of course, you can do it. And I've heard stories of, for example, a course provider who sees a huge spike when they get the algorithm just right with ads, but then it quickly tapers off. Yeah, they saturate the market and they lose out. The real pathway to success is building a community, I guess.
Absolutely. And at the end of the day, I will tell you something about running ads.
Mm,
You may get to see your posts on lots of people. Your post may get seen by lots of people, but you don't get recommended. You don't get suggested on Explore. Your posts always show up as sponsored, so people know that you paid for it. Compared to if you find a way to go organically viral, which is something our team works a lot on, you're going to get seen on For You or Explore something that's not seen as sponsored, that's seen as organic content. And people might like that so much better. And you can rank on hashtags and locations. And if you're looking to target specifically, like let's say in Seattle, Washington, or if you want to target Los Angeles, or if you want to target children's authors or children's book, you can put simple hashtags like that. And best believe, you can rank on those hashtags over time, and you'll see more people starting to engage with you. And that's kind of the whole idea of organic marketing. It's to get onto those hashtags and rankings so people will naturally decide to see you and support you. So that's how I look at it.
And there's methods for increasing your visibility. So, for example, to get discovered on the Explore page of Instagram, as an example, is it about having high engagement in your posts, real engagement from real people?
Actually, to tell you the truth, it doesn't matter if you have real or not real engagement. It depends on the quality of the engagement you have. You can't just buy 1,000,000 likes and 1,000,000 comments and best believe tomorrow you're going to be on trending or things. No, it doesn't work that way. The version of engagement you get and how good it is, is what determines if you get on the Explore page or not. We have particular methods, me and my team, that do help with getting like on the Explore page and ranking on hashtags and things like that. We have particular, and I have one client currently working on that particular engagement that's helping her get more and more recognition and noticed. And it does work with helping people get on the For You page. And I remember when my team did a lot of testing, we did viral engagement that wasn't real with one sample video, and we only organically reached like 50 people. And then we did higher quality traffic, a combination of engagement on Instagram altogether. And I think we reached about 1,500 organic people. And so, like I always say, when it comes to social media traffic, quality, not quantity. Sometimes people are too focused on the numbers that, it's not a healthy thing to focus on. You want to succeed and thrive in the long term, you've got to focus on quality, not quantity.
Makes a lot of sense. Interesting. So kindness in marketing is possible, and it's about creating quality experiences, quality content that people really engage with. It's a good lesson for a lot of people who are searching for that silver bullet. If I just do this one thing, I'm going to rank at the top of the search engines or whatever. It takes a little bit of work, and there's no way around it.
Oh no, I want to tell you something. To get suggested and recommended and things, it's not a one-time thing. It takes like a strategic combination of everything all together in one in order to get into that position of being recommended and suggested. It's not a one-time thing. Like everybody says, if you buy this or you do this or you do. Many people provide misinformation of how to be successful and everything. And they're the biggest liars alive. For me, you know what? I always say everything as it is. I tell you up front, marketing is a very strategic process because I've dealt with agencies and people who help their clients go viral, like when they do marketing products or things like that. They have strategic methods, how it's done, and the methods they use to reach an organic audience, to rank higher, to be seen by millions of people organically. And they're very successful with how they do it. These are powerful people that I learned from how to do these things. That's why I don't believe anything anybody says on YouTube how to go viral. They're all liars. They just want content to create and stuff to post so that they just make up misinformation about stuff. Because everybody I trusted on the media was all a liar.
What are your thoughts on someone like Gary Vee? He seems to be focused on authentic, create real content, post consistently, but it sounds like quite intense for a small business owner to be posting 5 times a day on every channel. Like what I've heard from small business owners is you can't do it. It's too much time.
No, that's misinformation. That's misinformation because you know what? If you post too much, you annoy your own personal followers, and that's not what you want to do. Because your job is to think about, as mentioned before, quality, not quantity. Don't post 1,000,000 posts just so that you can get more exposure. Post something very, very, very good and then focus on the marketing side of it. And then that's what will create the organic exposure.
Makes a lot of sense. I wasn't expecting to talk about internet marketing much today, but it is so useful. And I know many of our audience members are small business owners, entrepreneurs, founders. So this will be very interesting to them. But shifting gears, you wrote a book called Watch Out, It's Nolan. I'd love to know a little bit more about the book.
Yeah, so this is an award-winning children's book it's a 5-time award-winning book, and it's dedicated to teaching educators, teachers, and children about treating people the way you want to be treated, to learn about what goes around comes around, and also for children to learn to speak their rights and to stand up for themselves from bullying, as well as for teachers and adults, because I think many of this stuff comes from the adults. In order for the kids to be better, the adults have to be the best first. The parents, the teachers,
Mhm.
they got to be the best first. And it's for them to learn about being understanding towards kids, their problems, their issues, feeling misunderstood, feeling not heard, you know. And I feel like once we understand better and we know the backstory of children as adults, then that's how we make the world a better place and we have a magical impact. So it's about a boy that gets picked on and bullied, and everyone who bullies him, bad things happen to him. There's this little whiz over here. His name is Bolton. I'll show you a photo. He makes bad things happen to anyone that bullies Nolan. Right here. This is Nolan. And after they realize all these bad things happening to them, they decide to stop. And then Nolan stands up for himself, saying, "You don't understand how I feel. I'm not happy." And then after that, everybody changes around the behavior, and everyone is kinder to him, and things get better. And so it's just kind of trying to teach our future generation, as well as their parents and as well as their teachers, that kindness does help and comes a long way. A small understanding comes a long way. So I hope this book can kind of give out that message to parents, teachers, as well as children. If you know what I mean.
Absolutely. Congratulations on the book.
Thank
Did
you.
who did all of the illustrations?
Her name is Aliza Schwartz, and
Okay.
she created the illustrations, and she did a really great job.
Very nice. Very nice. Why did you write this book? And I'll give you a little bit of backstory because it resonates to me. Um, I grew up in a school. I went to a school in South Africa. And back then, it was the opposite of kind. There were daily canings by teachers. Bullying was basically the norm. If you weren't a bully, you would get bullied. And it
Yeah,
wasn't easy. I really didn't enjoy the experience of school. It was an all boys high school. It was horrible. Did you?
yeah.
And I experienced a lot of bullying. Was that something that you experienced in your
Oh,
schooling?
yeah. Yes, I
Mm,
did. And that's actually the reason I wrote this book, because what happened was, listen, I will never blame a child because children are children and they don't know better. Of course, they're going to
true.
misbehave. But when it comes
Mm,
to teachers who are adults and should know better, and when you see someone upset and not happy, and you continue to bully them and mistreat them, like what happened to me, that's to
mm,
me where it crosses the line. I'm like, you're
yeah.
the adult, you should know better. If you knew someone was unhappy and getting bullied, why would you carry on letting them get bullied? So this is kind
Mhm,
of the reason why I also wrote the book as well, is to kind of also make sure that us as grown-up adults learn, if we see somebody getting hurt, we help them out and we try to change it, because in
mm,
my case, nobody cared about me. People were bullying me, doing horrible things, and nobody cared about me.
yeah, it's a tough thing, isn't it? What I really was thinking about recently, I wrote about this in my new book, which will be published later this year. It's all about core values, and I wondered, how could these teachers who are adults, who are like my age, the age I am now, hit young boys, hit teenage boys with sticks? I just cannot comprehend hitting a young person with a stick because they didn't do their homework. You've got no idea what that kid's weekend might have been like, what was going on in their life, what their home life is like. And it was often the kids who had the most troubled upbringings who ended up being hit, subjected to more violence at school. It's crazy. Can you forgive people who have bullied you?
Oh, I 100% I forgive everybody who's bullied me. But,
Mm,
just the thought of even seeing it today,
mm,
kids are nasty and mistreating me as a person, and there's adults that don't do anything about it. Of course, there are adults that do things about it in other places, but I know specifically in this day and age, there are kids that do so many bad things, and there's adults that don't speak up or do anything. And so this book
mm.
is actually to teach these people, don't be afraid to stick up to bad kids. For
Yeah.
me, there was even a time where, I had an 11-year-old kid when I was 16. He almost, God forbid, he almost stabbed me with a knife. And then I'm thinking in my mind, if an 11-year-old kid attempted to do that, you would just let him get away with it? Like, speak up. You never know what these kids can become if you don't stop them. It's your
Yes.
job as the adult. You're the parents, you're the teachers, you're the grown adults. You got to put a stop to bad behavior before it's too late. That's how I look at it.
100%. I'm with you. And we live in a time when people are scared to say or do something because there may be repercussions. But what are the repercussions if you don't do something? I think you're exactly right. Stand up, say something. There was a case recently.
Yeah.
I live in New Zealand, which is a peaceful
Yeah.
place. A group of 5 or 6 teenage girls nearly killed another young girl, beat her to the
Yeah.
point that she was in a coma. I mean, that's shocking, shocking. An adult should have stepped in and done something.
For sure.
So you are a force for good in the world. I love it. I love it. Tell me more about your
Yeah.
interests. I see on your website that you've done some modeling.
Yeah, of course. So actually, I do my own photography as well. So let's
Yep.
say if one day I'm interested, I kind of go and do my own photo shoots and things like that. Or I have like my family taking photos of me when we go places. It's kind of more so that I don't have to hire photographers or hire people for photo shoots. It costs so much money to do. Yeah, no, I kind of maneuver more towards ways how I might be able to save money on certain things just so that I can still look good and not worry about investing so much money on looking good and things like that. I figured it was a
Sure.
smart way to kind of live your life if you can save as much money as possible, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We do a lot of that stuff ourselves. I've got a media company, and that was born out of the fact that, well, I would like to do it all myself if I can. And not everyone is willing to learn the technology, learn how to use a camera, learn how to use a video camera. But if you do, you
For
open up a
sure.
whole new world. You can do it anytime. You don't need a crew.
Hmm. And at
Mm,
the end of the
mm,
day, I built all my marketing and empire and my following and everything that I have as Dark Joseph Ravine. I built most of this all on my own. I may have had
mm.
a marketing agent here and there, but I did many of it a lot by myself. And my following on social media was all by myself. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm able to do social media so well because I can do certain things on my own. I'd rather not depend on people because I really don't think many people are out to help people. I think they're more out to help themselves than to help other
Mm,
people. But us in general, we focus more on helping others before we help ourselves because we always think
mm.
that's what's going to come a long way in the long term, you know?
Yes. Yes. A lot of people seem reluctant to learn new things. They have this attitude of, oh, well, I can't do that. I can't set up a camera. I can't. I mean, any tips for people who've got that fixed mindset? How do you overcome that and become a bit more, curious?
I always say you can never know something unless you try it. The same way, like how you would say, oh, this food is disgusting, or I don't like this person, or this, and I would respond, why don't you get to know something or someone before actually having an opinion on it? Or why don't you try something and get to see it for yourself before feeling the way you do? You know, I came from a background where lots of people were very hateful upon certain kinds of food and people and things like that. And I'm completely against that kind of persona and behavior.
Mm.
I'm always like, get to know something or someone before having an opinion.
Mm. So you grew up in Toronto?
Toronto, Ontario, yes.
Okay. And what does a day in your life look like now that you've got a team and you're growing and you've got your movement? What does a day in your life look like?
Well, it's a very fun day. Every day I get up in the morning, I do my prayers, and then I come home, I have breakfast, and then I run right to my office, and then I'm doing emailing, I'm dealing with my clients for social media, working on the next viral projects for YouTube videos, Instagram videos, or TikTok videos, or, things like that. And, I'm also looking for more marketing opportunities and reaching out to people, things like that, seeing how I can help other people. And yeah, it's going very, very well. And then
Mm,
after
mm.
that, at around like 4 or 5 o'clock, I just come home, go back to do prayers again. And then I do more investigations and research on marketing and ways to be successful and things like that. And yeah, every day is a new
Mm.
adventure for me.
Who inspires you?
I'm glad you're asking me that. I'm inspired by Kim Kardashian. And the reason I am was because she was the one who taught me that life is never about you. It's about helping as many people as you can. And when you become a person of value and a provider and somebody who doesn't just give like that, but more like help change lives for the better and actually provide worthwhile value to people, that's when the doors start to open up and the opportunities start to fly in and good things start to happen to you. So she actually inspires me a lot, Kim Kardashian.
Amazing, amazing. And where does the dark come from in your name, Dark Joseph Ravine?
So I'm called Dark Joseph Ravine because the idea behind it is to fight against dark. It's like theoretical for, promoting positivity and kindness. So I'm called Dark Joseph Ravine because I'm fighting against dark with kindness. So that's kind of
Interesting.
the way I look at it. I took like poetry when I was in university, and I always liked that theoretical way. Like light means good and dark means bad. So that's kind of how I look at it.
Interesting. Very interesting. Sounds like
Yeah.
you've got so many cool projects on the go, and you've done many interesting things already in your life. What excites you about the future?
Well, every day is unpredictable, but I always say to everyone, even myself, always make the most of every day and enjoy the moments while you're living and continue to be happy and smile. And you never know what's going to happen tomorrow or the next day or in the future. So always be prepared for everything. And above anything, have faith in God to help you with everything around your life.
What an amazing message. Dark Joseph Ravine, thank you for sharing some time with us today. I've learned quite a lot about kindness in marketing, especially. That's something that's top of mind for me, but also thinking about what you mentioned about Kim Kardashian, who's probably the queen of marketing, in a kind way, being a force for good as you are. How can people connect with you and find out more about what you do and your marketing services?
Well, if they go to my website, which is www.darkjosephravine.com, they can find out more about me and the things that I do and the things my team does. And if they decide that they're interested in anything, they can come right to my site and try to connect with me. Of course, we're not always open to everybody. We are borderline exclusive with who we respond to. So, but everybody can always respond, and we'll see who we respond to if they're interested.
I think it's such a powerful thing to be discerning about which clients you work with, because you want it to be the right fit.
Oh, of course. Yeah, no, we don't work with just anybody, even with our marketing. We're not going to just make anybody famous. We have to trust people and be interested in them first before we do anything.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your time. Any final thoughts for our listeners?
Yes, I just want to say continue to be positive, smile, enjoy every moment of your life while you're living, make good memories, and just remember to think positively and be happy. And may God bless all of you with lots of happiness and good things in your lives. Amen.
Dark Joseph Ravine, thank you so much for your time today. And thank you all for tuning in to this episode. Please do check out the links in the show notes and you'll be able to connect with Dark Joseph Ravine yourself. See you in the next session. Thank you.